Hi, I'm Danny, and today I'll be redesigning the main 6 from Equestria Girls. I loved My Little Pony when I grew up, it was one of my favorite shows, and I still hold it dear to my heart. And rewatch it from time to time, hehe. This show was what got me into drawing in the first place, and back then I imagined what they would look like as humans. Needless to say, I was very excited when they announced the first movie, but then it came out and it wasn't awful, but the designs weren't really what I imagined, and the high school setting confused me even more because they are like adults in the pony world. They have jobs and everything. Why are they children now? All in all, the first movie isn't too bad. The plot is a bit more basic and Sunset Shimmer's design is actually really pretty. But I think we can do better. And I'm not talking about the sequel movie Rainbow Rocks, which is the far superior movie in all aspects. No, we're gonna redesign and slightly rewrite the first movie. I'll introduce my revamped version of the basic plot first, and then we'll move on to the characters. Canterlot University is one of the most renowned in the country. It's praised for its large selection of majors and connections to sports teams. Deans Celestia and Luna, who have been running the place for as long as anyone can remember, are very kind and caring to all their attendants. But these two still keep their secrets. You know, in this world, magic isn't really a thing. Not that it doesn't exist. It's kept secret. Everyone has an inane amount of magic in them, but to use it, you need a magical artifact to amplify your magic. Nowadays, most of these artifacts have their origin in another world, our pony-centered Equestria. Most of the time, an artifact comes to this world an accident, but it's completely possible to use the ancient ways of alchemy to make one such artifact yourself. But this form of magic has been presumably lost to time. You can imagine Princess Celestia's shock when dark magic starts spreading from the portal connecting these worlds into the pony world, and she tasks Princess Twilight to go through and defeat the dark source on the other side. You can see how I changed the basic premise of the movie and aged everyone up. What happens after is mostly like the first movie though, except the added new magic system, and instead of prom there's gonna be some other big event. Now, let's talk about Twilight's design. I wanted her to be very preppy and academic, but still a bit royal. At this point she is a princess in the pony world. I gave her a longer bob, her fringe stayed the same, and I shaped little hair pieces to the side like her side mane in the show. I wanted to keep the colorful hair while giving them human skin colors. One problem I have with the original designs is that because the hair and skin color stayed the same from the show, the outfits had to be a lot of different colors, which I didn't really associate with the characters all too often. Twilight has a darker skin tone, more on the orangey side. Her button-up is her pony color, and the sleeves are very wide to resemble the classic wizard look. Above that, she wears a light blue vest. The buttons are little white stars, like on a cutie mug. Her belt is gold with blue crystals, like her royal crown. I did like her OG skirt, I just changed it up a bit. To round it all off, I gave her knee-high socks and big loafers. I pointed them a bit at the tip to also give that wizardy look. You might have noticed her brooch. Well, it's her element of magic. The elements are gonna be in all of the main 6. I think apart from Twilight, no one will have them in the start, but they will earn them by the end of the movie. Since in the later installments they basically turn into magical girl superheroes, they will all get some element of harmony artifacts with which they can transform. Twilight will have hers from the start, but won't be able to use it, because she needs the magic that's still inside to return home through the portal, because it's only activated by magic or something like that. Human Twi, or Side Twi, will also have the element of magic, but she'll earn that after she shows up. They're basically two different elements of magic, one from the pony world and one from the human world. Speaking of Side Twi, I know she won't get introduced till later, I still wanted to draw her. The base is gonna be the same. Sidewise hair is gonna be straighter and she'll keep her glasses, but I added little stars to the sides. Her shirt is gonna be short-sleeved and stick out under the vest. And lastly, the belt is gonna be different and the socks have a different pattern. I also decided to change the color of her vest to differentiate them a bit more. The personalities are pretty spot on, but since this is set at uni, I wanted to give them all majors and careers. Pony Twilight doesn't really count, but for Sidewise, I think her special interest is gonna be history and especially trying to find out more about the ancient art of alchemy, which will be the reason she transfers to Canterlot University after all the magic events that are gonna happen here. Her majors are gonna be physics and chemistry. Girl has a lot going on, that's why she has no friends till she moves here. Alright, that's enough for now. Here's Twilight Sparkle, all done. So, Rarity obviously is gonna be a fashion major. She actually already started making and selling clothes for her online shop. But it's a growing business. Her dream is to one day open her own boutique. She will always look very fashionable, so her original top, flat skirt and boots combo won't work. Instead, we'll give her a top, flat skirt and boots. But in all honesty, my biggest problem with the original designs is that they all have the same silhouette apart from the hair. In my version, Rarity has a high ponytail, a diamond necklace. Of course, her top and skirt are custom made by her. They are made out of this lace material I see a lot at the moment. But instead of the flower kind of pattern that's usually on them, she will have the diamond pattern on her skirt. Her boots are high-heeled thigh highs, which are very shiny. This is her main everyday outfit. Alternatively, I gave her a business professional designer look. A pantsuit with high heels, open hair and iconic red glasses. To cinch in her waist, I gave her this diamond-shaped gold belt kind of moment thing. The mentality Rarity lives by is definitely fake it till you make it. She knows she has the skills and she works hard. Her online shop is thriving. As long as she keeps going, her dream of opening her own boutique and having a well-known clothing brand is gonna come true. When Twilight gets to the human world, she's very confused, but when she sees a radiant purple-haired woman, that can only be one person. From Rarity's perspective though, a well-dressed girl she has never seen before just storms her and starts talking about magical creatures and how we need to assemble the friend group and find who is causing all of this. Rarity is taken aback. What is she babbling on about? Maybe she thought Rarity was a spiritual person because of all the crystals on her outfit? Well, she might not know what the new girl wants from her, but the vet students she asked for advice about her beloved cat Opalescence is a bit more spiritual. Maybe she can help. Our fashion icon Rarity is all done. Fluttershy doesn't have many friends and she isn't one to go out and meet someone new, but when it comes to the pets of other students, she will always help. No matter if it's pet sitting or helping when they need medical advice. You can find her in the woods behind the university a lot of the time, as she cares for the animals there as well. Her dream is to open an animal sanctuary. Now that a lot of the wilderness is being converted into living space for humans, she wants to preserve the natural habitat of the wildlife. First and foremost, I wanted Fluttershy to have total Disney princess vibes with long, luscious hair in a half-up, half-down hairstyle, held together by a bow which has a butterfly-shaped silhouette. Since Rarity often uses Fluttershy specifically as a model in the TV show, I made her the tallest of the group and very slim, like the stereotypical model. Generally, she wears very flowery colors, like green, pink and mainly yellow. She also really strikes me as the kind of person that has a lot of clothing pieces with frills. The all-day outfit also has her wearing a top just like the original, just in pink and with frills. That's the only similarity though. I'm not very fond of the outfit in the original. It doesn't look like something Fluttershy would wear naturally. In contrast to the original, I drew her wearing a yellow cardigan with flared flower petal shaped sleeves. It's tied together in the front. To accompany this, her bottom half is covered by a long green skirt. I enhanced it by adding a vine pattern. As an accessory, she has one of those off-the-hip belts, but instead of circles, the segments are shaped like butterflies. One of the segments is swapped out with her element of harmony later. Last but not least, her shoes are cute sandals with pink little flowers at the clasps. As her alternate outfit, I drew her in her vet clothing, because she's at this university studying about animal health and care. Her hair is pulled up and held together by the world's strongest butterfly hair clip. I copied her hairstyle from the last episode 1-to-1 because it's so cute. Yellow isn't really a common color for scrubs, but I took some creative liberty. Under them she wears a long-sleeved green frilly top. Sandals aren't the best footwear for a vet, so she got some white sneakers with frills and pink shoelaces. The ends are tied together to look like butterflies. In the story, Fluttershy was minding her own business, sitting in a more secluded area away from the crowds, reading a book about the behavior of wild birds. Suddenly, the owner of the Persian cat opalescence and another woman approach her. The unknown girl's eyes spark up, and for some reason, she even knows Fluttershy's name. Of course, Fluttershy is very overwhelmed and wants to leave, but can't get a word out. She is thinking. She recognizes all her patient's owners, but she has no clue who this is. When Twilight realizes how much she frightened poor Fluttershy, she stops though. She skipped one important question. Do they even know who Twilight Sparkle is? Neither of them do. Now, calmer than before, she explains her situation. The other two just look at her wide-eyed, then at each other. Oh no, this poor student overworked herself. Now she's hallucinating some fantasy scenario. This is not the first time Fluttershy has seen this happen. All of a sudden though, they get attacked by a shadowy entity. Thankfully, the creature gets blasted away by the biggest confetti cannon any of them have ever seen. Before we continue, our shy cutie patootie is all done! Party pony Pinkie Pie is easily the most energetic of the group. She's most always hyper and frequently breaks the fourth wall. In my rewrite, she still works in her step-parents' bakery, the Sugar Cube Corner. She loves baking and decorating cakes, but she also really enjoys planning parties. All in all, she just wants to make others happy. But when it came to being a major, she couldn't decide. So she picked event management and patisserie. No one knows how she manages to do everything she does. It feels like she cloned herself sometimes. When it comes to her look, I made her one of the shortest of the group. Her hair is tied into 2 afro pigtails with a bunch of accessories, even her element of harmony later. And the accessories don't stop there, because her fashion style is 100% Decora Harajuku fashion. So she has 3 colored eyeshadow and a pink lipstick. She also has freckles. But no one knows if they are natural or if she draws them on each morning. The regular outfit consists of a big poofy color block jacket, which she probably made herself. There's a big balloon on the front, surrounded by smaller balloons. Because she's so extra, she wears 2 skirts and the biggest blue petticoat you have ever seen. As you can see, there are a bunch of accessories on her skirt as well. She even has an alligator purse as a nod to her pet in the TV show. To run it off, she wears platform shoes with mismatched leg warmers. Her old outfit is her Sugar Cube Corner uniform. Of course, she still makes it her own with her poofy skirt and leg warmers. The uniform itself is a short-sleeved patisserie jacket and a muffin-shaped apron with frills. In this version, she ties her hair up into a big afro puff. She does not look like what you would imagine your party planner or patisserie chef would look like. She always gets underestimated by others, but she truly is one of the best around. Pinkie might not seem like the most organized person, but once you attend one of her events, you just know the attention to detail she puts into everything and how much she enhances every event. As for the story, Pinkie was bringing some of the equipment to the auditorium when she heard screams. With her always optimistic and energetic personality, she needed to intervene, and she knows that her confetti cannons pack quite a punch. When the others tell her what happened, she believes them without hesitation. Sounds plausible enough. So now we gotta find the no-good evil magician who's causing all of this. Maybe the school event Pinkie is planning has something to do with it. After all, it's the 100-year anniversary of the campus. Great, now the group has something to investigate, but first I'd like to show you the pink party planner all done. Next up, is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Rainbow Dash! Rainbow is the jock of the group. She's very active, prideful, and thinks she's too cool for school. But she secretly is a total bookworm when it comes to the Daring Do books in Indiana Jones spoof. Nerd alert! Nerd! I wanted to portray her as an all-round very sporty person. I see that a lot of people draw her as a track and field athlete, but in the show she always strives to be part of the Wonderbolts, a Pegasus group that acts kind of like the Air Force flight demonstration team in our world. So I could have made them a straight up flight demonstration team, but that took away from the sporty aspect. I also thought about making them an Evel Knievel type motorcycle stunt group, but it's the same thing here. Instead, I landed on either BMX stunt group or skateboarding stunt group, and since BMX athletes wear uniforms, I thought that would fit perfectly. Why am I telling you all this about the Wonderbolts though? Well, Rainbow Dash isn't here to actually study a subject. The Wonderbolts are the most notable sports group of the Canterlot Uni, and Rainbow Dash got a full scholarship to attend. Contrary to the others, Rainbow lives further away from campus in the more bustling city of Cloudsdale. For her outfit, I went full on sporty and cool. For her hair, her sides are shaven and the rest is tied into pigtails. I contemplated giving her a full short hairstyle, but you'll see later why I decided against that. She wears a pink sports bra and a blue sports jacket on top. It's one of those cool jackets where you can stick your thumb in. She wears shorts and leggings with zippers. I don't know how practical that is, but it does look about 20% cooler. On the shorts there's a vaguely cloud pattern, and on the leggings there's a thunderbolt pattern in rainbow colors. Of course, that is to represent her cutie mark. To round it all off, she has blue running shoes with a lightning pattern, though her element of harmony gets added to one of them later. On a lazy day, I think she would run around dressed like Adam Sandler. As for her old outfit, it's a Wonderbolt uniform, so blue jumpsuit with a thunderbolt pattern. Apart from that, it's pretty standard, you know, helmet, knee braces, the whole shebang. To make it a bit more special, I changed the cuffs of her gloves to thunderbolts and the clasps on her shoes as well. And here you can see why I gave her the pigtails instead of an old short hairstyle, because with the helmet you couldn't really tell that it's supposed to be Rainbow Dash. Now for the story. I think the group will meet her in the auditorium. Rainbow couldn't help but be curious about what they were looking for, and when they tell her about everything, she tries to act nonchalant, but internally she's screaming, "Fighting evil forces? So cool!" They would also meet Applejack here when she's setting up for her Sweet Apple Acres stand. She's not as easily convinced as Rainbow Dash though. At this point, they will investigate more and become friends and meet other students. Sunset Shimmer included, the usual. At some point they will discover a secret room behind the mirror portal in the school's basement and find some artifacts. Here they will also find out that Celestia and Luna are descendants of ancient sorcerers of this world. Before we continue, here's our dashing athlete, Rainbow Dash, all done. Of course, we can't forget about our last member of the group, Applejack. She's a hard-working farm girl and like Rainbow Dash, she also lives further away from campus on a family ranch or farm. I don't know what exactly it is. She is here to study agriculture and maybe business management. Although her family has been doing this for generations, she thinks she can always learn something new and improve their apples and harvesting. Just like Fluttershy, I wanted her to be very tall, but very muscular, since she is always working on the farm. That's why she has a tan as well. I couldn't get rid of her head, and instead of her original ponytail, I gave her a braid for more practicality and because I think it just looked cuter. Applejack's original Equestria Girls outfit has to be hands down my favorite. Especially the skirt, which I kept in my version, but I added bottom ruffles with a checkered pattern. I didn't like the shirt she wore in the first movie, but the shirt she got later looked a lot better. I gave it a different color though and gave it a checkered pattern instead. I did add an apple-shaped bolo tie to it. Of course, we can't forget about her element of harmony, which is gonna appear as her belt buckle. Last but not least, I kept her cowboy boots as well. Can't forget about her old outfit. I kept it fairly simple. It's a work outfit, so instead of her skirt, she got some nice jeans, and for protection, she got work gloves which match her shoes. Now to close out the story, until they found all this, Applejack was pretty skeptical. They go and confront Celestia and Luna and get a lore dump. They will find out that the school has a history of magic and that on the 100-year anniversary there will be some special event. I don't know, to be honest. I haven't figured that part out. All of this will lead to the anniversary when Twilight realizes a little too late that Sunset Shimmer is the one doing all this. She has the same backstory as the original, but can't go to Equestria, so she has made her own artifact crown, but with evil magic. Ooh! Which poisons the pony world as well as this one. Sunset wants to make this world her own because no one has magic here to stop her. She steals Twilight's last bit of magic and turns into a demon, basically the same shtick as the original. Of course, she fires a big blast of evil magic and wants to eradicate Twilight for stealing her place, but her friends step in and boom! Elements of magic, pony forms, Twilight's magic gets restored. Yippee yippee! Same ending. The end. But before we go to the ending screen, here is Applejack, all done. I hope you all enjoyed watching me come up with these designs. Making them was really fun and I have a bunch more ideas, so if you want to see more, I could make more designs for Sunset Shimmer, Celestia, the Dazzlings, or anyone else. Alternatively, I would love to draw the magical girl looks. With this video complete, I can now put another step on my card. And here is the progress on the other ones. You can find all of my artworks on my social media linked below. Today's illustrations will join them in the coming days. If you want to watch the speed paints without any commentary, check out my YouTube Shorts or TikTok, where I'll be uploading them separately. Thanks for watching, until next time!